Welcome. I bid you welcome. John Clauser coming to you from my music corner of the world. Today, welcome to another edition of Album Track Ranking A through Z. And today, we're brought to you by the letter F. Now, I'm going to throw y'all a little bit of a curveball. Maybe my C choice was a little bit of a curveball, but this will be another one because F, you would think, oh, maybe he'll talk about Flotsam and Jetsam, or maybe he'll talk about Fate's Warning, or something along those lines. I thought I gotta keep you all on your toes once in a while. I'm actually going to talk about a band that was formed in England back in 1979. They were originally called Portraits. They had a couple little lineup changes before they would settle on the lineup that would appear on this particular album. And I am talking about a British new wave band, The Fixx, and their debut album called Shuttered Room. Now the Fixx, they were a band that in those early days of MTV, I would come across uh, a couple of their well-known tracks that um, I still love to this day, and it was not really, being more of a metalhead. I really wasn't so much of a new wave guy. In fact, I was kind of a closet new wave fan. There's a lot of bands out there that get the new wave tag that, secretly I was a fan of, but I didn't really want to admit that. Like there were certain songs by like Duran Duran I thought were pretty cool, but you know, um, I would never go as far as saying I was a big Culture Club fan. So that's a little that's a little there's a little Easter egg in that one for you, Logan. You'll get Logan and Sydney. You'll all get that one. Anyway, Talk Talk would be another one that I really dug. Wang Chung. There was a lot of those bands that I really kind of dug, but the Fix they were just had this kind of this. They still had this little bit of a punk feel to it, but they had this more of a melodic, more keyboard, more clean guitar sound. But they still had some of the songs had that punky energy about them. Um, Now here's a picture of the band right there from this album from back in 1982. So on drums you have Adam Woods. On guitar you have Jamie West Oram. Singing the vocals, Cy Kernan. Rupert Greenall on keyboards, and Charlie Barrett on bass. Now, aside from Charlie Barrett, this band is still together with this lineup. Dan K. Brown would take over on bass duties, would take a hiatus from the band in 1994, would rejoin them as a full-time band member in 2008. The Fixx I mean, they only have about 11 studio albums, so it's not like they have a huge catalog to dive into. And I admit I am not a deep deep Fixx connoisseur. So I'm kind of familiar up to maybe the second, Reach the Beach, maybe Phantoms. And that's really about as far as I really go with the Fixx. Their ending catalog is kind of sparsed out a little bit. So it's an easy catalog to probably track down. And one day I hope to get into it. Now, this was released in the UK in May of 1982, May 14th, 1982. It wasn't released in the States until August of 1982. Okay. There's a single that was released as early as April 17th of 1981. So this was uh, probably taken from an early demo and released through there. There would be three more tracks released as singles throughout 1982. Now, the version of this CD that I have is um, is the American release with two bonus tracks, one of which you can find on the original um, English pressing of the album. The original English pressing has a completely different track listing and a couple different tracks. United States gets a different one. So I'll go into that a little bit more afterwards. Now, the only track I'm not including on this in this little ranking is there's a bonus track of Stand or Fall. That's a different mix of it, and so I'm not going to include that. I'm just going to include 11 tracks. So let's kick it off. Number 11 for me is actually going to be one of those original songs from the UK album. It's called "Sinking Island." This is a very upbeat, kind of a funky track that kind of deals a lot with adversity and perseverance. Um, it Compared to the rest of the album, though, it sounds a little out of place. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because of the horn section that's included here, but something just seems a little out of place with the song. But it's still a great track. Don't get me wrong. I still find the track very good. Um, but that one will come in at number 11. The next track is actually this one led off the British version, and it's the track called "Some People." This track it's almost kind of Cars-like at times, but still a very fun track to listen to. Um, Number 9 is going to be the title track, a Shuttered Room, very upbeat, very energetic track. Here again, a song kind of dealing with being confined and isolation and stuff like that. It seems there's a few of these kind of themes on this album. Still a very fun track, a um, very upbeat tempo song. Number eight number eight's going to be it's a very unique track. This would be track 3 on the original British version. On this it's actually the track number 7, and it's the song called Cameras in Paris. Very unique, musically flavored song where the cameras are always watching you kind of thing. But there's just a lot of uniqueness about this song. It's very interesting and very catchy. A lot of the melodies still kind of stick in my head a little bit. Um, Number 7 is going to be the track called "I Live," and this track is a very moody, but there's so many different flavors in this song musically. Um, this would be number 2, track number 2 on side 2 of the original British version. Number 6, Lost Plains. This would kick off side 2 of the original British version. Lost Plains, another punchy little rocker, basically just about different forms of travel and some of the pitfalls and I guess pros and cons of a lot of it, but it's still a very good track, very enjoyable song. Number 5 is going to be a song that was not on the original um, British version, a song called "The Strain." And this one has a lot of drive, great vocal, just tasty lines here from Jamie West Orm. Jamie West Orm is just such an underrated guitar player. He just has so many good guitar taste lines and just knows when to put everything in there, and it plays for the song. Not He's not a heavy distorted kind of guy, so you're not going to get that heavy metal sound out of him, but it's just a very clean, wonderful tone to him. Really good player. Again, just so overlooked. Um, Okay, the next one, on the American version, this closes the album proper, but on the original British version, it closes side 1, and it's the epic song at 5 minutes and 21 seconds, called the Fool. Here again, this one kind of a lot of musical layers. Again, talking about isolation. You got Jamie doing some nice solo spots here. Again, a great way to close the album, I felt. Um, I have to be honest. I really like the American um, sequencing for this album. Number 3 is the one that starts off the American album version, not featured on the British. This song called "I Found You." Again, very nice pulsing opener, uh, basically announcing, "Hey, the Fixx are here. Check us out." Very punchier, moodier version, maybe of Duran Duran, perhaps. Again, you get a nice Jamie solo. The last two tracks, they're the big songs. They're the ones that I have probably the most history with and the ones I love the most. Number two is going to be Stand or Fall, very moody track, basically on this state of the world. And, and they were all the very atmospheric and very emotional kind of a video with this song. Um, Great track. Love this song from day one. But my number one track for this album is always going to be Red Skies at Night or just Red Skies. This would close out the album proper on in the English version. Here in the States, this would actually close out side one on the album proper. So here again, you get this throbbing, pulsing beat of the bass and the drums. There's a lot of sparseness in your instrumentation here. Again, this is a nuclear war song, which was a very hot topic back in the early 80s. You get some really tasty Jamie chops here. Wonderful Cy Curnin vocal here. Just an absolute everlasting song, iconic song by the band in my humble opinion. Great track. So, as I mentioned, there's some different track listings from the UK to the American version. So the UK, they start with Some People, Stand or Fall, Cameras in Paris, Shuttered Room, and The Fool. Flip the album over, Lost Plains, I Live, Sinking Island, a track called Time in a Glass, which would about the only way you can really find this one really is if you find the original version of the of this album. Um, Good track. I would probably rank this kind of in the mid to lower end of the if I was going to rank it. Good track. I found it up on YouTube, and of course, Red Skies at Night. As I mentioned, the U.S. track listing is "I Found You," which is a new track. Some People, Stand or Fall, The Strain, also a new track. Red Skies, Flip the album over, Lost Plains, Cameras in Paris, I Live, Shuttered Room, and The Fool. So and then this reissue features Sinking Island and Stand or Fall remix. So what do you guys think about the Fixx? This a wonderful Rupert Hine produced album. He was all over the place in the 80s, between Tina Turner and Rush and um, gosh, lots of different bands, lots of different acts. Um, what do you guys think about this one? Are you guys surprised I would talk about it? I hope next week's version of A through Z hopefully is another one that might throw you for a loop. But anyway, like, share, subscribe. You know the deal. Get your fix of whatever I present to you, this whatever stories I may have. Tell me some stories about what you think about the Fixx. All right, and maybe Shuttered Room especially. So, with that said, tune in next week for the album track ranking brought to you by the letter G. John Clauser, Johnny Metal, the Metal Dad, coming to you from my music corner. Rock forever, y'all. We'll see you soon. Take care.